Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports Gaming. You've been asking and wondering, where has Uncle Bashir been? What's been going on? And has there been a bust up between myself and Uncle Bashir? So you've got Uncle Bashir back live and exclusive to BWTM Sports. Uncle, good to have you back.
I've been around the world and I'm back again. Thank God.
So let's get the first thing cleared up. So, how have you been?
I've been fine. I feel good. I feel strong. I feel powerful, and I'm grateful to be here.
So it's been a long time since we actually spoke, because I've been running around doing my stuff in the cricketing world.
We're Nigeria, you know.
Yeah. So I've been running around doing stuff. So I really haven't had time to really catch up with you. I've seen bits and bobs with you, but not really had the chance to connect in a way I wanted to.
I was in the gym yesterday with Zilly Zhang.
Zilly Zhang, yes.
Yes, I was there in the gym with him yesterday.
How is he?
He's fine. He's a good dude. He's a really good dude.
Funny.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah, and big.
Very big.
He's big. He's huge, man. You know, standing next to him is like standing next to a building. But his assistant trainer, who's also from China, asked me would I fly into China because he had some fighters there that he was managing, that he wanted me to fly into China with him to take a look at these guys. So I may be on the boat going to China. You know, I've always go to China, so yeah.
So you're dressed for it. You look like a Shaolin monk at the moment, so you look dressed, ready to go.
Yeah, well, I'm ready to go. Whatever it is, you know.
I tell you something. Why you're on it about Zilly Zhang? His trainer. I can't remember the guy's name again. Very, very clued up about boxing. Listen to the interviews he was doing, and very, very astute, very aware. Didn't get caught up into all hype. Very astute, very grounded, knows his boxing. Can't remember the fellow's name again.
I forget his name. I met him. His name escapes me because I'm here.
Yes, but
and the minute
we
hang up, his name will come right into my name. But we spoke yesterday, and we made reference to the fact when I met that young man, he was an amateur boxer, and we were at a gym many years ago at the Marciano Gym in Jersey City, New Jersey, and he was only 17, and now he's 45. To show you how long that I've been in this profession, he was only 17 when I met him, and I asked him yesterday how old was he, and he said he was 45.
That's it. Sean George. That's it.
And I met him at Marciano's gym at 17, 18 years old, and now he's 45. To show you how long that I've been plying my trade with this here. And Sean George actually is the last person to beat Chris Bird as a professional, and he stopped Chrissy Bird.
Of course, yes.
And he stopped Bird. That was the end of Chris Bird's career.
Yes.
You know?
But he's as a trainer, he's very astute. Very astute.
Well, he was trained by Tommy Brooks.
Oh, well, there you go. That's where it is. That's where it comes from.
Yeah, I mean, he was trained by Tommy Brooks. So yeah, he's quite astute in the art of boxing. He's been there.
Got some people commenting in the chat. Looking forward.
I think he married Lou
Duva's.
He married Lou Duva's granddaughter.
Okay. Yeah, I did hear something about that.
You know, so Sean George has been around the block a couple times. He's well versed in the art of boxing. He knows what he's doing.
Okay. So we've got here, Taylor says, looking forward to Uncle Bashir, one of the last few respectable boxing people.
Thank God. I'm humble and I'm thankful for anything that I receive in this life. and hopefully in the next.
The viewer says the king is here.
The king. I don't know if I'd go that far, but thank you anyway.
Because was Uncle Bashir on vacation? He's looking well and rested.
And I've bounced around. I've been everywhere. I've been everywhere since I last spoke to you. I've been to Spain. I've been to London. I've been to Poland. I've been to Croatia. I've been everywhere, man. I've been up and down, bouncing around. I'm thankful that at 72 years old, I'm still in demand, and I still feel like it. I don't feel 72. I feel like I'm perhaps 45, 46 years old. I feel good. I'm always active. I'm always in the moving and grooving. So yeah, I'm grateful and happy to be where I'm at.
So let's kind of go through this because it's been so long. Chronological order. So where did you bounce to first? Well, since we last spoke. So we spoke before Spence Crawford, way before then.
Went to Switzerland. I was in Switzerland. I did a stint in Switzerland. I was there. I was in Switzerland for several weeks, looking at a heavyweight prospect, because I specialize in the heavyweights. I was in Switzerland with the prospect that I was looking at. I won't mention his name because the management doesn't want me to mention his name. It's like they want to sneak him into boxing, and they don't want anybody to know that I was there working with him. So I won't mention his name, but I was in Switzerland. I came back from Switzerland to Germany, from Germany to France. So
whoa! Hold on. You were in Germany. What did you do in Germany? You slipped past that one quickly. So what happened in Germany?
The question is what didn't I do in Germany?
Wow. Okay.
I got you on that one. What didn't I do?
What did you do in Germany? Look, I know.
I was in Dusseldorf.
Dusseldorf, okay.
I was in Cologne. I was moving, I'm there, and my benefactor, my main man, Vladimir Klitschko is there. Vitaly Klitschko is in Ukraine, but Vladimir Klitschko, he stops through Germany every now and then. But I especially like Dusseldorf, and I do a lot of work there in Dusseldorf. I expect to go back there soon.
Okay. Eugene sends his greetings.
Hey, Eugene. Yeah, that's my man, Eugene. Me and Eugene, he only talk to him when I come on here. Eugene has my number. He can call me himself.
See, Eugene, you naughty boy.
Yeah.
Hope you're well, Eugene.
You got to get a grip on yourself, Eugene.
So you were in Germany, and then you Switzerland, Germany. Then from Germany, where next?
I went down to France.
Oh, hold on, Vladimir. Any possibility of the comeback, or is that off the cards completely now?
Well, I think that Vladimir Klitschko, the last time I saw him, Vladimir Klitschko is still in shape for boxing, and he'll beat the top 20 right now. All right. Vladimir Klitschko was only 242 pounds the last time I saw him. He's always in good shape. He's always looking to box. But I think that the holdup here is the war that's present in Ukraine. He wants to help his brother. He wants to be a good guy to his brother and to his people in Ukraine. And I applaud that. I applaud that. But Vladimir Klitschko is a great human being. Vitaly Klitschko is a great human being. These guys are formidable people, man. They are super. They are fantastic people. I love those guys.
On the subject of Ukraine, may as well just talk about Vlad Tsarenko. That's your fighter. How's Vlad going?
Vlad Tsarenko is my grandson. All right. Vlad Tsarenko is healing up from a little surgery he had a little surgery here, a little hurt surgery there, and a little surgery there, but he's back. He's
That's
back.
good to hear.
He's back. I thought that we would be on this card in Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
That's the case, but perhaps in the future that we'll be on one of those cards coming up.
What about the
Blast
Fury Usyk fight? Could you get him on that card?
Maybe the doors are open and we'll be on that card. But a young talent like Vlad is bound to be on that card. And I still have Igor Plevchenko. And he's another young Ukrainian. He hasn't progressed quite like Vlad, but he's there, and I've been working with him constantly. He's a heavyweight. I'd like to see him fight for the Bridgeweight title if I can get him in the picture,
Okay. All right. So when do we think we'll see Vlad? Will we see him at the end of this year or it's just next year?
I think that more likely it'll be next year. Early next year, you'll see Vlad.
Is there a plan in terms of 3, 4, 5 fights? Oh, Uncle Bashir has gone. He will be back in a moment, I'm sure, for his connection. Let's put some music on and let's wait for Uncle Bashir to return. Okay, let's do that. And we'll just wait for Uncle Bashir to make his return. Uncle Bashir is back in the house, and let us continue the interview. Sorry about that.
What happened there?
I don't know. You just disappeared. Just the mic got pulled from you. Let's go.
Maybe we was just too heavy for the network.
Possibly. So 3 fights next year, 4 fights, 5 fights. How busy do you want Vlad next year to be? Because he's missed out quite a bit.
I'd like to see Vlad box 3 times next year, depending on the outcome of each fight. That he's not injured, he's not hurt, he's not cut or something like that there. But my preference is to see him box 3 times next year.
Based on what I'm seeing, by the majority of the fights on the day of reckoning and obviously Fury versus Usyk, it seems that the Saudis want to see big names or good names in with quality opposition. I don't think they want any knockover jobs.
Well, I think that what the Saudis are doing now is they're making the fights that the people want to see.
Yes.
I mean, I think Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua is a fight that should have taken place directly after the first fight that Fury and Deontay had. I think they should have fought then, when the pots were really hot. And off that draw that they had, it would have been a really live card for them to fight then. And here we are talking about Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. We are talking almost 10 years later.
Fighting on the same card, but separate opponents.
Unfreaking believable. We're still talking about Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney. All of this time that passed, they should have fought already. I mean, you look back on the years past, you had Roberto Duran versus Esteban de Jesus 3 times. 3 times they had fought. Esteban de Jesus was a hot fighter at that time and actually beat Duran one of those fights. And how hard, Emmanuel told me years ago that it took them 45, 50 minutes to make the fight between Tommy Hearns versus Sugar Ray Leonard. and there hasn't been a welterweight contest like that fight since that fight. But the fact of the matter is that it took them 45 minutes to make the fight. This is what Emmanuel Stewart told me from his mouth. All right? And they had to do a multi-city, multi-country tour where they were gambling on the plane the whole time. Tommy Hearns, Emmanuel, Ray, Angelo, all of them got along on those planes, and they helped them puff at the press conference, and they got back on the plane. They went to another city, another country, and they did the same things. So now it's a great big thing to get two guys in a boxing ring, you know, and they're milking the people. They're milking the people. I mean, it takes that long, 10 years to make one fight. And by the time the guys get in the ring, they're way past their primes.
Yep.
They're way past their primes. People don't want to see that. People want to see them when they're in their prime.
Primes.
Spence, Crawford, look, they were in their primes. They wasn't in their primes. They passed their primes. All right? What we're seeing now is residue. We're not seeing the guys that's in their primes. The people are paying their pay-per-view dollars to see boxers in their primes. You know, you got Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney. Shakur Stevenson versus Tank Davis. How long does it take to get these guys in the ring? What's the holdup? Like they say, inquiring minds wants to know, what does it take to get these guys in the ring? You got one saying they're the best, you got the other saying the best. Okay, then prove to the people who's the best. Get in the ring and put up your dukes.
Yeah.
Now everybody wants to fight Shakur because he had a bad showing in the last fight. So now everybody and their mothers breaking down doors saying, I want to get in the ring with Shakur. I want to get in the ring with Shakur. Off of one bad performance. But that's talk is, like they say, cheap.
Yep, I guess so. You have in the room, let's bring up John Smith. Big up Bashir and Ingram. Good evening, John. Hope that you're well.
Hey, John.
And Denise Wards. Greetings, Ingram, Mr. Bashir, and all.
Denise, glad you're on board, Miss Denise. Denise is always there. She like the Ingram show police.
Yeah, something like that. Yes, absolutely. Much love to Denise. She's a soldier, that's for sure.
Denise is good people.
Absolutely. So you were in Germany. After Germany, what's next?
I'm just biding my time, you know.
So you bounced from Germany. Where'd you bounce from Germany?
Desk. I got a lot of things on my desk, different destinations. Everybody wants me to go there. Everybody wants me to go here. I have to make up my mind about what I'm going to do. But I'm looking for the most promising heavyweight out there, you know. I'm looking for weights. I work with lightweights, welterweights, middleweights, but my goal, my heart, you know, I think that I'm a specialist in the heavyweights. And I think that people need to stick with what they do best. I'm best.
Why do you say you're specialist in heavyweights?
I've been exposed to heavyweights more than I have with any other weight. I've worked with welterweights. I've worked with lightweights and middleweights and stuff like that. But my forte is the heavyweight division.
But why?
Jamil McCline. I trained Shannon Briggs. I trained Lennox Lewis. I've trained Vladimir Klitschko. I've trained a gauntlet of heavyweights. And so I would think that I'm most comfortable training the big guys.
Okay, that's fair enough. I've asked the question before, but I thought I'd ask it again just for the sake of new people listening in.
I put a lot into this profession, 56 years to be exact. And I put a lot of that time in with the heavyweights, light heavyweights, cruiserweights, and the heavyweight is, of course. So mostly my forte would be with the big guys.
I think one of the discussions we've always had back and forth with yourself working with heavyweights in the UK, and I was surprised to see you in the UK with Daniel Dubois. I thought that seeing you with Daniel Dubois, they get it, because Dubois was going to fight Oleksandr Usyk. Usyk was your former fighter you worked with for a while. You took him to the Cruiserweight Championship world.
It's strange. Usyk doesn't seem to harbor any bad feelings about me, as I don't harbor any bad feelings about him. It was a business decision. Hey, he said, my services are no longer needed. Hey, no problem. Everyone has a right to make a business decision. But I don't feel bad about Oleksandr Usyk. But I've gotten some calls saying that I instructed Daniel Dubois to hit Oleksandr Usyk low.
Okay.
I'm a man that believes in the sport of boxing, and sport, not hitting another guy low. All right? Usyk should know that, because the whole time I trained him, which was 3 years, I was his original professional trainer. He knows in those 3 years that I trained him, he knows I never, ever, ever instructed him to hit any guy low. So that should tell him something about those accusations about I told Daniel to hit him low. I told Daniel, along with his trainer, Don Charles, we told him to go to the body. All right? Shit happens. I didn't tell him to hit anybody low. And I don't even know if it was a low blow. But again, I didn't take the punch, so I don't know the ramifications of what happened.
So can you tell, in all your experience, going to the UK, working it was like a consultancy role you were working. So what was your role in that camp?
I was there sharing my perspectives on what I thought would give Daniel the best chance of winning that fight. So and that was what I learned about Oleksandr Usyk over the years. Those things that I thought that he would be effective against Oleksandr Usyk. This thing is there's a lot of racism in boxing, a lot of hate in boxing, as it is in the world.
Right.
Oleksandr Usyk, right after the press conference with Daniel Dubois in Poland, Oleksandr Usyk called out to me in the audience. He over everybody, Bashir. And I called back out to him, say, hey, Oleksandr. And he motioned for me to come up to the stage. And I came to the stage, and Usyk embraced me. He hugged me, like a long lost child. He hugged me, and it was heartfelt because I felt that he meant it. I felt that he meant it. Somehow in that hug, so many words and so many emotions were translated in that hug. And nowhere, I have never seen anywhere on the internet of him hugging me, of us embracing on that stage. Never. I never saw a picture of it. I never observed anything on the internet of him giving that hug. And that hug lasted for at least 15 seconds. And not one place on the internet that I ever see that hug. So that tells me there's some kind of You there?
Yeah, I'm there, Uncle. What happened?
Okay. I got a call. Then,
okay.
Nowhere on the internet did I ever see anything about us embracing that. Not one time. Not once. Not once. You know, not one time. So that tells me racism played a part in that. Hate played a part in that. All right. There were 100 photographers there. Had to be up with the 50 reporters there, and not one time did I ever see that on the internet. So you tell me, what was that?
Let's see if we can put a call out to our friends in the media and see if they can send you a photo. I'm sure if they could, they would.
Not for me. For anybody to see.
Yes, but it'd be good. We got to ask somebody, so we should ask.
Look. It's not for me, but it's for boxing to show that boxing is a sorority, if you will. It's a community that unlike any other community. That's what that photo would show. That hey, even though we're on opposite ends of the pole, there's still some humility in it.
Do you think he misses you? As a trainer? Do you think he misses you as a trainer?
I got the impression that he misses the conversations that we've had. I think that Usyk is a human being. I think that he's an emotional human being. I think that he knows what we shared, the conversations and the time that we rode together. I mean, we rode together.
Yeah, I know.
For miles. We went from Kiev, Ukraine to Odessa, Ukraine. That's a long ride. All right? That was a long ride. And we shared conversations. We stopped along the way. We went to different churches together, you know. We ate breakfast and stuff at churches and stuff. And we were pretty close. So I get the impression that, yeah, if he's as human as he seemed, like I said, and that embrace said a lot of words without saying anything. I think
so. At the end of the fight, at the post-fight press conference, was the energy still the same between yourself and Usyk, or did you embrace after that, or did he talk to you after that? Because it was pretty heated because of the low blow. And
no, we didn't say anything after that. But again, I think it was because of the people that was around, not because he had anything against me. Or maybe some people fed information to him that I was responsible for that. But I would never do that. I would never, ever tell any fighter to strike another fighter low. I would never do that. I would never give drugs to any fighter to another fighter. No, I believe in sport. I believe in the old-fashioned way of sport. The best man wins. The best man wins.
In your opinion, what are your thoughts on the blow? Was it a low blow, or in your opinion, was it just where it needed to be?
Well, it depends on what perspective you look at it from. If Oleksandr Usyk had did the same thing against Daniel Dubois, what would they have done? They would have declared a knockout for Oleksandr Usyk. So I'm supporting Daniel Dubois. I'm saying Daniel Dubois had a legitimate knockout that they didn't call. And if it was a foul, then why didn't the referee ever take a point? The referee never took a point. The referee never took a point. So if it was in fact a foul, why didn't he reprimand him and say, okay, I'm taking a point?
Okay, Uncle.
Or in many cases, 2 points.
But you know the history of boxing. Anytime there's a fight, a super fight, the next fight up, the powers that be will do whatever is necessary to make sure that fighter can get through, whether it's a points victory, so they can make that super fight with Fury.
let anything get in the way of
That's what I'm saying.
the showdown between Usyk versus Fury. They wasn't going to let anything
Absolutely.
aside from that, you know. But I said the same blow was landed by Andre Ward versus Kovalev, and it was legal in America. But the same, if you look at the video of Andre Ward landing against Kovalev, who was it? Vice versa. I think Ward landed.
Andre Ward landed, yeah, in the second fight.
Yeah, he landed.
But doubled him over.
And the blow was called illegal. Just compare it. I ask people in the audience, go back and look at the blow that Andre Ward landed against Kovalev, which was called legal, and then look at the blow that was landed against Usyk by Dubois. It's virtually the same blow. And the referee gets up. Usyk says, "I'm ready to go." The referee says, No, take another minute. No, sir, that's not your job. That's not your job to say, take another minute. The man said he's ready to go. He's supposed to move out the way and let the fight continue. But the referee verbally said, no, take another minute. That's not his job. So there were many infractions there that should have been ruled a no contest. But he said, oh, we want to make this fight happen.
So in your opinion, obviously you were there. You were literally ringside. Why, when Daniel Dubois had Usyk down, he got up, why was it not right? You're hurt. I've dropped you. Now let me take advantage of the situation and get you out of there. Why didn't Dubois jump on Usyk? Why did he allow him time to get back into the fight? And then, you know.
I got no idea. I'm not in the guy's head. I'm just a trainer in the corner, you know.
But I've seen this more than once. I even saw it in the Ngannou fight. When Ngannou dropped Fury, it could be an experience because he didn't want to blow his gasket. That's the only thing I'm thinking. He dropped Fury. Fury gets up with the left hook. And he just kind of just holds back. He doesn't let his hands go. And I'm wondering to myself, well, that's a similar situation to Dubois. And Dubois is an experienced fighter in comparison to Ngannou.
I think Ngannou might have won that fight via split decision.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least he should have benefited with a draw. But I don't think Fury cleanly won the fight. I don't think he should have got the decision. Didn't do good enough in the fight, all right?
Okay. So let's come back to Usyk and Dubois. So what was your experience coming into camp? Obviously, you know, we always talked about you, you know, the potential of you coming to the UK, working in the UK, working with UK heavyweights, and many people in the room that we've done interviews in the past of you were like, yeah, we'd love to see Bashir in the UK, working with UK heavyweight. So the opportunity for you how did the opportunity come about you working with Daniel Dubois?
Don Charles called me and said, hey, man, we could use your expertise in this over here in the training camp with Daniel
Hold
Dubois.
that right. Hold that right there. Just hold it there. Hold that there, Uncle. Another man fought Oleksandr Usyk twice in Anthony Joshua. And you have worked with Joshua in the past, in the Klitschko camp. What was it that Don Charles thought was right for you to be in camp there and Joshua didn't use your services?
I think it's a matter of intimidation.
Intimidation?
I think some people are intimidated by my presence because of what I know and what they don't know.
Okay.
And Don Charles, big respect goes out to Don Charles. Big respect. Because Don Charles was never intimidated by my presence. Don Charles is one who said to me, I can only benefit from your presence. Don Charles is a true student of the game, and I have to commend him for that. He was never, ever, he never showed any intimidation. Don Charles extended himself to me. He gave me a free hand in that camp. He allowed me to come in the corner to say what I had to say. He never, ever, not one time showed any intimidation. The only thing that he did was to say, hey, I'm grateful for you being here, and the only thing that could happen for me is to benefit from your knowledge from the time that you've been. So yeah, I commend Don Charles for that. I got big respect for that brother.
It's great to hear. It's great
Yeah,
to know.
yeah, man. And I'm gonna tell you something. In all the years that I've been in boxing, I've been around the world a couple of times. You know, the fact that I've been down to South Africa, I've been to Australia, New Zealand, you know, I've worked in circles where other trainers were intimidated. Despite the fact that I was 25, 30 years older than them, they still wanted to show me what they knew. They wanted to show me that what they knew. Don Charles didn't do that. Don Charles was like a student in a classroom. He would ask me about this, he would ask me about that, and the conversations that we had off the gym, out of the gym, personal conversations where we had about boxing, about training. And Don Charles reminded me of a young me. You know, I was around Sam Solomon, Eddie Futch, Emmanuel Stewart, Georgie Benton, at one time or another. And I took pages from their book, Bill Miller, Walter Smith. So I took Luther Burgess. I took pages from all of their books. I asked, and they told me, well, I did it because of this, I did it because of that. And I locked those pages in my mind, and I use those pages to this day. And you know what? I'm not ashamed to say, hey, I got that from Bill Miller. Hey, I got that from Walter Smith. You know, Luther Burgess, I learned that from Georgie Benton. You know, so that's what happens when a person is appreciative. So big ups to Don Charles. Big ups to Don Charles. He's a good dude and a good guy, and I wish him the best. I hope that he goes on further in his career to be a success.
So, what's the major difference between the way the UK go about their boxing and the way the US go about their boxing, in your opinion?
It boils down to one thing: envy and jealousy. You got guys in boxing in the UK, South Africa, you know, America, that are jealous of other guys. I'm 72 years old. How could you possibly know as much as I know and you're only 30 years old? How could you possibly know? So jealousy plays a part. Jealousy plays a big part in the actions of one trainer to trainer. Yes, it's a lot of jealousy, you know. So
It's a jealousy thing.
I don't think the applications are different. Somewhat different, but not that much different.
Okay.
Don Charles has a son. Don Charles has a son that's very capable, man. He's a capable guy. Mm-hmm. Don Charles has a son that's very, very capable of being the heavyweight champion. I've worked with him. Yeah, I'm telling you, he can be the heavyweight champion.
I know him. I met him. Yes.
He's got to put his right foot in front of his left foot and get it done before the ship passes him in the night. But I've worked with him, and man, he has some attributes where I think that he can really go out there and make some noise. I was very impressed with the little time that I worked with him. Very, very impressed.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
he's a big guy. He's agile. He's quick. He's accurate, and he understands the nature of the sport. I just don't see why he can't. He doesn't. Kind of reminds me of Maurice Harris. You know, kind of reminds me of Maurice Harris. Every time I think about Maurice Harris, I get sick.
Okay. So where are you now at the moment?
I'm in the planet.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about, Uncle.
No,
are you in America? Are you in?
Yes,
are you in?
I'm at home.
So wait, so are you like I did say stuff about you work with building a legacy or building a partnership with Dubois and his team. See, you were
Look,
working with Dubois
listen,
for the Usyk
you know
fight.
what? I'm at home, and the closest ally that I have here at home since the passing of my wife,
Sorry to hear that.
like my closest ally is me. You see
What's
that?
that? Your TV.
That's right.
Wow.
Me
I'm
and my.
sorry to hear. I'm sorry to hear about the passing of your wife, Uncle.
Oh yeah, man. That was my buddy, my ace spoon coon, my ride and die. You know, that's my girl. You know, and I think the biggest fear that I have in my life right now, my biggest fear, and I've lived for quite some time. I want to live longer, but you know, I think my biggest fear in life now is that I'll never love another woman in this life the way I loved her.
Wow.
That's my biggest fear. The whole thing in life, as far as the Muslims is concerned,
Yes.
is to take on a wife. Is to take on a wife, a loving, caring, respectful wife. You know, where you don't have to look over your shoulder to wonder if she's with some other guy or whether she's cheating on you. So that's the big thing with the Muslims. The Muslims want that. I think that I said that's half of your respect of your deen, of your religion. You know, so my biggest fear in life now is that I will never be able to love another woman in this life the way I love that woman, because that woman took care of me, and now for the first time in my life, because after I left my mother, I went to my first wife and then my second wife, and they always took care of me. All of them took care of me. So, so for the first time in my life, I'm on my own. I gotta mop floors. I gotta wash clothes. You know, I gotta wash windows and shit. And I wasn't used to that. I was just used to somebody taking care of me.
You cook your food as well?
Yeah, man.
Can you cook?
Everything, because I've always viewed myself as the kind of guy, I'm only going to take a woman that I can love. If I can't love the woman, then I don't want her with me. I don't want her with me. I could have somebody in my house with me, but will I love him? Will I trust him? You know, that's the big thing. To have a woman that you love and trust, and that she loves and trusts you. So I don't know whether I'll ever be able to do that again. I don't know if I'll ever be able to witness that again. If I can do that, that's a big thing. That will be a
That's a
big
blessing.
that
It's a
that would
blessing.
it's oh man, blessing. And that would be a big thing for me.
That's God's
So
intervention right there.
what I have now, all I have now is boxing. You know, and the hope and prayers that I can have another wife. But if I can't have that woman that I love in my heart, if I can't have her, then hey man, it's just a rough and tumble. I got to keep going.
The fight within the fight, right?
So much, pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people don't think about those things. You know, a lot of people
And
don't think about that. When my wife was alive, my bags were always packed. 2, 3 days ahead of time, my bag would be packed, and my wife would drill me about was I prepared to go. And I don't think if anybody didn't appreciate I don't think looking back now, I don't think I appreciated her as much as I could have, or as much as I should have. But now it comes to mind that, you know, you did this, or you know, you didn't do that, or you know, you didn't do this. You should have done that. You should have done more. these are the things that I'm left to live with now. So I do everything now with her in mind, the way she would have had me do it. Yeah, did I screw up? Yeah, I screwed up sometimes. Do I regret it? Yeah, of course. I don't know a human being on this earth right now who don't have some regrets. But I go on. I have to go on. I have to go on.
Taylor says, you're blessed to have so much love in your life. Not everybody is so blessed.
Oh, man.
That is something. You experience that love. Some people don't experience that love at all.
Isn't that something I could tell anybody that's listening? If you haven't had a partner like that there, oh, man, you're missing something. You're missing something.
So Denise Ward says, my condolences, Mr. Bashir.
Thank you, Denise. I miss her, and I miss what she stood for. And anybody that I might have wronged in this life, please forgive me for it. I'm just asking for forgiveness. That's all. And I want to go on. I want to go on. And I want to love again, It's not easy. It's not easy, And I'm not going to do it unless I'm in love. If I'm not in love, I'm a love boxer.
Keep your heart open, Uncle.
Yeah. If it wasn't for boxing, I don't know where I might be right now.
But you still have a love, and that's boxing. And that's a love that is there. It's a different kind of love.
No, I can't. No, man, no. I woke up one night and I kept saying, girl, I said, stop pulling the cover off of me. And I came to myself and said, hey, man, she's not here no more.
Oh, God.
I woke up in the middle of the night, about 3 o'clock in the morning. I said, girl, you pulling the cover off of me? What are you pulling the cover for? And I came to my senses and said, who are you talking to?
Yeah, she's not here.
Yeah. And that devastated me. I couldn't sleep no more. I had to get up, just sit there and look at the light in the living room because I couldn't sleep. So now I try to do whatever I ever can to make my wrongs right. I'm living to try to make my wrongs right. But I'm not afraid. Because I know that every one of us in the listening office or in the listening audience around the world, all of us has a number. And at some time or another, that number is going to be up. So we can only ask for forgiveness in this life and ask God to make it easy on us in our demise. But all of us has a number, and at some point, we're all going to have to go.
I guess in all the interviews I've ever done with you, 10 years plus, this one probably is the most. It's the most significant. We've broke stories. We've had our stories translated in different languages. We've laughed. We've joked. We've shared so much. But this here is different.
I mean, for those of you in the listening audience who still have spouses, male and female, if you have a spouse that you love, if you have a spouse who attends to you and who displays their love, then love them back as much as you can, because in the blink of an eye, it could be over. So you don't have regrets. You still have time, because I'm here telling you, embrace them as much as you can. Yeah, argument's going to happen, because in an argument, it can't be an argument unless one If each of them, one thinks they're right, the other one thinks they're right. That's what makes an argument. Sure, there are going to be arguments, but at the end of the day, that's your spouse. And you have to make up with that spouse and get on with the business. As my wife would say, get on with the business of living.
Fitness. Mm-hmm.
Get on with the business of living, because living is a business. I remember my mom would say to me and my brothers, we would be running around a department store or something. My mother would get angry with us. And she said, boy, if y'all don't get your asses over here right now. She said, God damn it. She said, life ain't no damn game. And I think back to those words right now. Yes, life is not a game. So when I walk around my apartment now, I think about what my wife would say, what my wife would do, you know, the times that I missed being with her, you know. I said, oh, I got tomorrow. I got tomorrow. I got tomorrow. I got tomorrow. Well, it ain't no more tomorrows. I got to get on with the business of living, as she would say. So here I am.
But is anybody around you now? Obviously, you know, family and stuff.
I mean, my daughters and sons, I have a close relationship with them. They always checking on me, but nobody can console me.
In that way.
Nobody can console me. Nobody knows what I go through in the nights, in the days, whether I'm on a plane, whether I'm in a hotel room halfway around the world. I've been in 1,000 hotel rooms since my wife's passing. But in the back of my mind, I'm always hearing my wife applauding me. Go, man, go. Be the best you can be. Do the job, do the job, do the job. That was her applauding me. My wife liked boxing. I adopted her and she liked boxing. She knew about the jab and hooking off the jab, and she could have been a good trainer, you know? So she understood boxing. And I hear her now tell me to go, reach for the stars, be the best you can be the best you can be. So here I am. Here I am, man. And I'm giving it all I got. But the people in boxing, the people in life, they got to stop hating so much, man. Stop hating so much. God, dog, man. How can somebody live with so much hate? You know, hate. So for those in the listening audience, if you have a spouse that you love the spouse, you really love the spouse, you tell the spouse that, yeah, I really love you. So give me a fair chance in this end. Give me a fair chance, and then we can go far together. And if you don't love them, let them go. Let them go, because then you're just wasting both of y'all time. Now let's get back to boxing.
Your
The,
word,
the infomercial is over.
your words, your words have made me.
Where you at, man? Hello. What did you do, man? Hello. Hmm. Ingram. Okay, let me go out. What happened, man?
It just cut. Just complete. My internet just cut. It just like just cut out completely, random. So let's get back to business.
All right.
Yes, we were talking about let me see what people are saying here. Oh my god, Snazzy says, oh my god, great to see Uncle Bashir. Hope you're well. Great to see you and Usyk reunited, a bigger and opposing sides the other month. Sorry to hear about this, Mr. Bashir. Wish you long life.
Yes.
Then let's see what we've got here. Another comment. Got a few comments in here. I'm trying. Let's see here. Viewer says, a wife's money is her money. A husband's money is both his and his wife's money. Wife's precious. Sorry for your loss, uncle. I will make do for you and your family.
Shukran.
Denise Ward says, again, my condolences.
Yes, life goes on. My wife
and
go
ahead, uncle. Bernard says, my nucleus of box interviews. Good evening, Uncle James.
Yes, good evening to you.
So I'm going to track back a bit here. Taylor says, heartfelt, and then goes, is anybody else tearing up? Okay. I want to sort of stay. We were talking about Dubois and Usyk. So now your situation now with Dubois. What are your plans? Are you still with Camp Dubois?
So I've been, my understanding, didn't say it to me, but my understanding was that the father does not want me around Daniel Dubois ever again. That was my
what?
I was asked not to be around Daniel Dubois ever again. This is according to the father's wishes. That was the message that was conveyed to me. Because I spoke out, I said that Daniel Dubois should have contended. He should have kept going, irregardless whether they judged in his favor or not. He should have kept going. But Daniel Dubois got emotional about the situation. He got angry, and that played into the stoppage. Not because he was hurt, he was just angry and emotional. And I don't want to play no more. Give me my marbles. I'm going home. And I pointed out to him, said, "No, son, no, son. You've got to keep fighting and look for another opportunity. You still got 3 rounds to go, and you've got to look for another opportunity." And I think that Daniel Dubois may have cheated himself out of that there because of his anger, because of emotion. I don't think that he was hurt. I don't think that he was tired. I think that he was just angry as hell, and that anger can consume what energies you have left. So I guess they didn't like that there. But what they didn't think about is that I'm an American, and I do things the way Americans do things. All the years I was with Emanuel Stewart, I had a free reign. And the great Emanuel Stewart never said, "Hey, man, you shouldn't have said that. Hey, man, you shouldn't have said this. Hey, man, you shouldn't have said that," And if he disagreed with something I said, we took it behind doors. We always took it behind doors. He said, "Well, you should have did this, did that, did that." And I would tell him the same thing. "Hey, Emmanuel, I think that you shouldn't have did that, blah, 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 blah." And plenty of times me and Emmanuel had these shootouts behind doors. But when we came to the public, we always came in a unified force.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Snazzy, as he says, Dubois' father seems extremely controlling. Uncle Bashir is correct about Daniel. I think he lacks that resilience at the top level.
Daniel Dubois, I find to be an incredible human being. I really love the guy. I really love being around the guy. He's a very, very, very likable human being. I can't get him out of my mind. I just like the guy, and that doesn't end because, I got a riff with his father or Frank Warren or what's the manager's name?
Martin Bowers might be.
Despite me having a riff with them about what I said, they've got to understand, man, I'm an American. I didn't know that I was saying something wrong. And I don't regret saying it, Somebody needs to tell him, no, that there's still 3 rounds left in this fight. You got to try to make the difference in those 3 rounds. I've seen it done. Not one time, not 2 times, but many times. I've seen it done. When a guy don't give up, I've seen a guy come up in the last 10 seconds and get the knockout. Mike Weaver versus John Tate, for instance. An almost hopeless situation turns into an overnight success. So when those guys say, oh, he shouldn't have said this, and you're only babying the fighter. The fighter can't grow like that. But don't tell me what I should or shouldn't say. Don't tell me. I didn't like that there. The people in England do things different from the people in America. You can't come and control my. I've been out there 56 years, longer than most of the people that have been in boxing. All of them motherfuckers. I've been in boxing longer than these guys even thought about being a boxer. And you're gonna tell me what I should or shouldn't say? Get the fuck out of here. The fuck out of here. That angers me. That infuriates me. They got no idea. I'm there on the floor, blood, sweat, and tears, training the boxer, and then some asshole in the front office gonna say, "Oh, you shouldn't have said that." Let me come back. We get civil again because I get pissed off when people do that kind of stuff. And these guys are not putting no pounds into it. Again, big up to Don Charles, because Don Charles is an affable human being. He's a good dude, man. This guy bent over backwards to make me comfortable. He gave me his house and all that was in it, I had a free run of Don Charles' house. I ate like a king. He even took me to the jerk chicken spot. God, that was great.
What was it like rolling around London then?
Well, that wasn't the first time I've been to London, but
I know. Obviously, we've met in London before. But
I spent a little more time. Most of the time I've been to Sheffield,
Yeah.
I got to see London with Don. Don and I, we went. Don, like I said, Don made me feel at home. He gave me a free run of his house. He made sure I had plenty of food. He had to get a bullhorn sometimes to wake me up. I'd be so comfortable.
Wow. It's good to hear.
Yeah.
So I think that answers Snazzy Az's question, which was, can you ask Uncle Bashir what Don Charles was like as a head trainer? But maybe, that kind of answers that, does it not?
I find Don Charles wasn't arrogant. He wasn't stupidly arrogant. He allowed the fact that he didn't know it all. He showed me, he says to me, he said, "Hey man, I look up to you. You're 12 years my senior. You've been around the sport forever. I want to learn from you." And he wasn't arrogant. He wasn't stupid about it. He was just a good guy. I love the guy. And I look forward to forming an alliance with Don Charles. coming back to England, I look to forming an alliance with him because he's a guy. If ever I wanted to form an alliance with another trainer, Don Charles is that guy. Because I realized before the passing of my wife, and now after the passing of my wife, I realized how vulnerable we all are. That's why the Muslims always say, I'm going to do so-and-so, and I'm going to go there, inshallah, if it be the will of God. We all have to say that, Muslim or non-Muslim. Just say, if God will. We say it all the time. I'm going to run down to the grocery store. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But we never say, if God wills. So this is calling on all the people in the listening audience to say, if God wills. Always ask if God wills, because it doesn't have to be so. In the blink of an eye, it could be over. Life can be over. So you always say, inshallah, if God wills, I'll do it. If God wills, I'm going to be here. If God wills, I'm going to fly into London. You know, I've been flying around the world for 56 years as a boxing trainer, you know, and every time I say, if God wills, I'll do this. If God wills, I'll be there. If God wills, I'll be here. We always got to say, if God wills.
God wills.
If
wills.
the will, because God is the will of all things, whether we believe in one particular reason or not. Don't have to be religious to say if God wills. If you believe in God, you got to say if it's His will. You can't just take it upon yourself and say, well, if God's will, I'm going to go down to the grocery store. If He wills, if He gives you the strength.
That's right.
I mean, He can take your legs. Your legs can go from out from under you. Your hip, anything. So everything is surrounded on the fact, inshallah, if God wills, I'll be able to do it. It's His will that we on this internet now talking. You know, and
you on the subject of trainers, Eugene says Usyk's body, Vatimanuk.
That's the guy we got. We got to ask Eugene to get that and find out if Eugene can find. I'm telling you, there's no photos of me and Usyk embracing on that stage, and that's
okay.
That to me is plain hate and racism. That's how I'm viewing it. Why wasn't that on the internet? Why wasn't that? Why? Because somebody, the powers that be, says, I don't want that in the public. Yeah, just ask.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So Usyk's body, Vatimanuk, thought he was a top-level coach because they got through 2 championship fights. Usyk sacked him after Breeder's fight, saying he's a good guy, but being a good guy is not a profession.
Right. Right.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Mayuk was there. He was there. I guess he was some kind of an assistant. You know, I liked him. He was a nice guy to me, but I haven't seen Mayuk in many, many years now.
Taylor says, goddamn boxing people never want to hear the truth. What is wrong with these idiots? No wonder all heavyweights are so weak these days. How rude of the father.
Listen, and he's right. You know, they think that I was hard. They think that I said something bad about Daniel Dubois. I can only imagine what Emmanuel Stewart would have been saying in that corner.
Yeah. God damn it.
No. If Emmanuel was in that corner at the time that Daniel didn't get up in that ring and during that last count, Emmanuel would have been livid. I would have had to go and grab Emmanuel by the waist or something and wrestle him under the ring. And this guy said that, well, he doesn't want me around his son anymore because of what I said. Well, that's just the way. I didn't mean to offend anybody. I didn't mean to hurt nobody, but I spoke my mind, and I don't regret speaking my mind.
Akulis 180 says, has Dubois got some underlying disability where he mentally can't focus, follow instructions, and if things aren't going to plan, will always look for a way out? Maybe he needs to work with a psychologist.
He's not the only one that has mentioned that to me. He's not the only one that has raised that question to me. He's in a long line of others that have raised the same question. I'm not a professional in that area, so I won't make any mention about yay or nay, but it's a valid question.
Valid question, indeed. I want to kind of stick on these things. So the guys here, Snyder says, Uncle Bashir, was lovely to see you and Usyk embrace before the fight. Very wholesome moment.
Man, I mean, yeah, he called at the end of the press conference. I was really far in the back of the press conference because I didn't want to be distracting, so I was at the very back of the press conference, and Usyk stood up and was getting ready to exit the stage, and he called to me over everybody, Bashir. And I called back to him. I said, Oleksandr. And he motioned for me to come up, and I came up to the stage, and he hugged me. All right? He hugged me. And this is the same human being that said to me, I'm the closest thing that he has as a father.
Remember all that time.
Some months after I began training him, and he said to me, I was the closest thing that he has as a father. This is what Oleksandr Usyk said. So how could you just stop being a son or walk away from me being your father in the blink of an eye? No. So when he embraced me, I felt sincerity in his embrace. I felt sincerity. I felt that there was a message being sent in that embrace. Whether those in the audience observed it or not, I observed it. I felt that it was sincere. I felt that there was some message being translated in that,
Yes. Viewer says maybe Dubois just needs to have his own voice instead of letting his dad control him.
I've also had people to make that observation. I've had people to make that same observation. So perhaps so. I mean, at 25, when do you do it? I was married. I was a married man with 2 children at 21.
Wow.
So nobody wasn't making no decision for me after that day unless they're going to pay my bills. They made their bill. They can call all shout they want to. If they ain't paying my bills, if I'm doing the labor, then, hey, Dad, I respect you, but now this is my life.
There's levels to this life, Uncle.
A child is a child when they're being supported, uplifted by their parents. But once that child goes out and earns a paycheck, then, hey, you got to start making decisions and walking on your own. And I'm not saying that in defiance to anybody. I'm just saying it is what it is. I mean, Daniel Dubois is 25, I assume, getting ready to turn 26 years old. When do you take over the reins of your own life, your own career?
Interesting. So while we're on the subject and you're talking about Usyk, it would be, how have you seen his development since obviously he stopped with you, how would you assess his development post the Bashir era and going into the heavyweight era?
If you look back on some of those press conferences, I don't know. I think we may have been in Odessa, but I predicted many years before he became heavyweight champion. I predicted in one of those press conferences. I don't know which one. Perhaps Eugene can find it, but I don't know which one. But I predicted many years before he became the heavyweight champion that he would become the heavyweight champion.
You kept telling me on the channel. You kept saying it to us over and over and over again.
In that press conference, I said that I see this guy becoming the heavyweight champion of the world for reasons that were obvious and those reasons that are not so obvious. And those reasons that are not so obvious will remain with me. But I saw it. I knew. I know the look. I said, this guy's going to be heavyweight champion because he has some things, and he still has some things that will deny other heavyweights.
Let me ask you this question. Will he be undisputed heavyweight champion of the world?
Well, the only thing stopping from being undisputed right now is Tyson Fury.
That's the question I'm asking you.
I think he can do it. I think he can
stop Fury. I actually do believe he'll stop Fury. There's this really...
Listen, it's going to be a tough fight for both guys because both of them are aware of what's on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Both guys are aware of what's on the table. Tyson Fury wants undisputed. Oleksandr Usyk wants undisputed. So both of them are going to bring everything they got to that fight. Everything they got is going to be in that fight. And believe me, you will not see the same Fury that you saw in the Uganda fight. You won't see him. No, you're going to see a whole different Fury.
But the Fury, I said this last night, the Fury that fought Klitschko and then the Fury that fought Wilder. Once Fury fought Wilder, he bulked up and he hasn't gone back to the Fury that fought Klitschko. He is that big guy who looks to overpower opponents now. Post Wilder, that seems to be his style now. Is that style the best style, him trying to overpower Usyk? Is that, because that seems the only way he can seem to fight now.
Usyk,
be big.
Usyk is an unpredictable boxer. You don't know which Oleksandr Usyk is going to show up. Have you seen Harry Houdini, David Copperfield? Well, that's what you're looking at when you're looking at Usyk. Usyk is a David Copperfield and Harry Houdini. You don't know which Usyk you're going to face in that ring. He's a capable, willing human being. And when he's in that ring, he knows that it's showtime. This is showtime. And he is one of few fighters in the world who's capable of rising to that level. He has a mentality that rises to that level. Everybody can't do that. Every boxer can't do that. Oleksandr Usyk is a special kind of guy, and he's there to fight, and he's unpredictable, and he's hard to fight. He understands. It's just so many things that you're going against when you're boxing Oleksandr Usyk. That's why I believe that he'll win this fight. He'll win a decision or split decision over Tyson Fury. He'll be the undisputed champion.
So if Tyson Fury goes down the Deontay Wilder route, which is I'm just going to force Usyk back and I'm going to overpower him, that strategy, and you knowing Usyk, how does that work against someone like Oleksandr Usyk, in your opinion?
Like I said, the Usyk that Tyson Fury will see in that ring, I don't think nobody will have ever seen him before. Oleksandr Usyk will be prepared mentally and physically and spiritually. He's going to be ready to fight.
People would question you and say to you, but Uncle Bashir, look at what he did against Daniel Dubois. surely Tyson should beat him.
Well, let me say this here. The Usyk you saw with Daniel Dubois, the one that you see against Tyson Fury will be the Usyk on steroids. All right? That's how much better he'll be in the Tyson Fury fight.
When you say, careful, Uncle, you said Usyk on steroids, particularly when we're in this era with Jerome Miller and Povetkin. You said steroids, Uncle. Can you clarify your statement?
Steroids, I mean, whatever the time with Daniel Dubois, it'll be 7, 8, 9 times the Usyk you'll see with Tyson Fury.
I just want you to clarify your statement there because Tyson Fury's called him a pumped up middleweight. Then his ex-trainer is now saying he'll be on steroids, and people will take that quote there and will blow it up around the internet.
No.
So let's clear that up, please.
The impression of the whole time that I trained Oleksandr, I never got the impression that he was on any drugs. I never got that impression. This guy is just a built up energy machine. He's full of energy. And he's going to roll the dice. This guy is stable, and he's going to roll the dice against anybody. He's not going to stop. The only way they're going to stop Oleksandr Usyk is to knock him out unconscious. If you don't knock him out, he's going to.
Do you know something? There was something I saw, because when Usyk got up after being knocked down by Dubois, I said, you know what? I said, you know what? This guy's going to get up and he's going to give it to Dubois. He's going to really give it to Dubois now. And then I see he let his hands go. And the spike that when he put the punches together against Dubois, they had a different type of spike behind that punch. And I'm thinking to myself, why didn't you punch Dubois the same way before the knockdown? Which made me feel as if he was either holding back or he was not really letting his hands go. And as soon as he got a bit right, you know what? I'm going to get you out of there now. So he kind of said, he put his foot down, said, now you're getting it. And as he put his foot down, he let him get it. That's where Dubois got stopped.
You know, Emmanuel Stewart used to tell me, he said, there's something special about the special heavyweight. He says, when you hurt him, the mean streak shows up. And that's what happened. When I saw Usyk come back against Dubois, that was that mean streak. That was that mean streak. It's either now or never. It's now or never. Never. You're going to come out here and you're going to have to do what you're going to do to me, or I'm going to do what I have to do to you. And he opened up. He opened up. He was there to fight. He's there to have or be had.
I've seen him do it against Joshua when Joshua tried to put it on him, and then he rocked Joshua once, and he did it again to Joshua in the second fight where Joshua tried to put his foot down on him. He put that combination together, and that same combination he put together against Dubois, and he stopped Dubois, which makes me feel that if Tyson Fury comes forward with that sort of I'm going to come and get you, Usyk's going to put some punches together quite nasty, and Tyson's talking about, well, Usyk can't punch. That's a concern right there, because I believe he can punch.
Yeah. I'm telling you, he can punch. I've done the myths with him.
There are people come on my channel and said, Usyk can't punch. I said he'll stop Daniel Dubois. Usyk can't punch. I said, well, now look what happened. Usyk can punch.
No, he can punch, and it's not the power of the punch. It's the sharpness of the punch, and that's what makes him a dangerous fighter. Because Usyk hits you from all angles. He's here. He's there. Like I said, he's the David Copperfield of boxing. He can deliver punches from all angles, suddenly, quickly. And when you hurt him, that's when he's most dangerous.
Yeah.
Emmanuel made mention of that many years ago. He said, when you hurt a good heavyweight, he said, that's when the mean streak comes out of him. All right? Emmanuel and I would often talk about the fact of me training Oleksandr Usyk. And Emmanuel Stewart said that you and Usyk are a match made in heaven. With your mentality and Usyk's his dig down style, he said, you're going to be able to do great things with this guy. He'll win the heavyweight championship.
Wow.
Yeah, Emmanuel said years ago. He said, with your mentality and Usyk's style, he'll be the heavyweight champion.
That's an exclusive there, Uncle. That's an exclusive there.
Emmanuel told me. He said, with your mentality and Usyk's style, his dig down, he's going to be heavyweight champion. He said, sometimes you say things that you shouldn't say. He said, but sometimes it benefits the fighter, you know? Yeah. I used to say things to Latimer. Latimer would be sparring, and different boxers would be in there with Latimer boxing. Mm-hmm. Jonathan Banks, Michael Hunter, you know, and even Anthony Joshua. And I would say things while they were boxing, like saying, walk to him, he's not going to do nothing. Emmanuel will say, all right, tone it down a little bit. Emmanuel will tell me, say, tone it down a little bit. This is the heavyweight champion you're talking about. I said, man, go to him. I said, he's not going to do nothing. Go out there and take over, you know. Emmanuel said, all right, I told you now, tone it down a little. Tone it down a little bit. This is the heavyweight champion you're talking about. And I said, man, go out there and take charge. I said, he ain't going to do nothing. I said, go out there, walk to him. And Jonathan Banks especially would listen to me. And Emmanuel would get mad with me and say, okay, tone it down now, because it's the heavyweight champion you're talking about. Oh, man. Oh, fond memories. You know, fond memories.
Snazzy says, Usyk seems to me like a very defiant person. Do you remember in the second Joshua fight in round 10, he said, I'm going to show you? Yeah, I mentioned that.
I told people many, many years ago when he was the cruiserweight champion, I said that this guy, in a press conference, I said, this guy's going to be the heavyweight champion of the world. This guy's going to be heavyweight champion of the world because he has those attributes. He has those attributes. Tyson Fury is going to have to fight a very, very, very careful fight to hold on to that championship. I see Usyk winning the title. I see Usyk winning the undisputed championship. I'm telling you. Tyson Fury is going to have to be very, very careful because I see Usyk winning that fight.
Eugene says he chooses not to load his punches. Dave Allen can testify. Yeah, he badly hurt Dave Allen, and Dave Allen's known for having one of the best chins in boxing. And Usyk made him do a silly dance in sparring.
Usyk is a special fighter, you know. Nobody can deny that, you know.
Snazzy says, Mr. Bashir, what's the single best attribute of Usyk's personality that you see in him?
His fearlessness. And his ability to roll the dice when it counts. If you're going to roll the dice against Usyk, Usyk is going to roll the dice against you. He's a special fighter. And those special fighters only come along once in a lifetime. And it's ironic that he's born the same day as Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, I've mentioned that.
So, you know, this guy he has something special in his tool shed.
Let me see here. Does he beat a Fury if he's in shape like he was for Wilder 2?
It'll be tough. I don't care how you look at it because Fury knows what's at stake. He's very aware of what's at stake. And just like Fury is aware of what's at stake, Oleksandr Usyk is aware just what's at stake. So it's going to be a tough fight. I don't care how you look at it. It's going to be a tough fight. I think that when the chips are down, I think Usyk wins the fight via split decision.
I think Usyk stops Fury as long as he's ready for the shenanigans.
Hey, I'd be the last to contest that.
Because Weather says Fury will be different class. Gypsy curse is real. Come fight night.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't think so.
Yeah. Okay. I know Oleksandr Usyk. I know what the guy understands in those training camps. He's going to be ready emotionally, spiritually, physically. He's going to be ready to fight. He's going to be ready he's going to be ready to lay his life on the line. I know the guy. I know his mentality.
Let me ask you this, because I think we're gonna have to do a two-part on this, because I want us to go through the Day of Reckoning as well and all those fights. But I want to end by asking you about this weekend's fight between Benavidez and Andrade. I'm going for Andrade, but because I think he's more the better boxer. But what do you think?
I think Andrade wins it too.
Ah.
I think that he has the kind of style to upset Benavidez.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. I think he's got the style to drop Benavidez as well. I think he'll make Benavidez walk onto shots.
He has that style. He's gonna cause some big problems for Benavidez. I think Benavidez made a mistake in taking this fight so readily. I don't think that Benavidez has fought anybody, not even got sparring partners that can emulate Andrade's style.
Mm-hmm. Coach Chris says Fury is desperate enough to throw an elbow strike versus a boxing novice in the Ngannou fight. Fury's trash without his magic gloves.
Yeah, they should have penalized him for doing that. That was a blatant shot that could have really injured Ngannou. It could have really injured him, That was a cheap shot, and nobody said nothing about it. Not even after the fight. And it was
if Ngannou did it, you'd have heard everything about it.
Yeah. That's what I said. That things go, it depends on what part of the perspective you're on when those views come to pass.
Okay. Usyk's fight with Fury versus God's gift for being true to his design. That really rattled Fury.
Fury can be rattled by a lot of things that Usyk is going to bring to the dance. And I'm telling you, Fury had better be on the P's and Q's to win this fight. Because Usyk he's got that mojo that can win that fight.
So what I want to do, Uncle, is like I do two-part. What I want to do is do the Day of Reckoning tomorrow night, if that's okay with you.
Yes, sir.
And then we can go through the fight-by-fight card.
Yes, sir. Inshallah.
And then inshallah, of course, in God's will. Inshallah.
Yes.
Do you have any closing thoughts for tonight?
Go and hug your loved one. And if she or he asks you, why did you come and hug me and kiss me? Your answer should be, just because I can.
It's beautiful. Thank you so much, Uncle. We appreciate you. As always, it's great to have you back.
Appreciate you too.
And we'll see you tomorrow night.
God willing.
Good night, Uncle. Take care.